My interest really started from just knowing that when you get something, there's a reason behind it. Someone is giving you an opportunity that you have to look back and say, what can I give back to somebody else? You know, do unto others as others do unto you, and how you treat people, you should treat them as well. And as I became more my ability to be able to do that, I try to find more ways to do that. What really kind of got me going was there was actually a couple of factors. Is that coming out of college, it's one of those things that you got beaten into your brain that you have to give, you have to support the school. They gave back, they give to you, you should give back and help other people and other students get the opportunities that you got. And so that was something that started my thinking about that, and they did a very good job, believe me. The schools, they know how to kind of elicit that support from alumni at a very early age. So I really started thinking about it in that terms. But I think the biggest thing that really taught me about giving and how to give is that what I did not like about giving. I started working here in Hartford. After I came back from school, I was working for a large company here in Hartford, and they had a couple of things. I became an officer of the company, and I had someone come up to me and basically say, Andrew, you're now an officer of the company. Congratulations on your promotion. And I said, great. He says, but now you must give back to the community. I said, okay, and what does that mean? And I didn't know what it meant. I was 25 at the time, and they said, it is time to volunteer. You are now the assistant treasurer of the ancient burying grounds of Hartford. And being a 25-year-old, I looked around and said, what is the ancient burying grounds of Hartford? And little did I know, I did not know it. And I literally was probably 200 yards away from it. And sure enough, I found out what it was. And so I started getting involved in that. But that involvement was literally just writing checks. So it wasn't as connected as I would want. But then probably the biggest factor that influenced on how I give and what I want to do and how I do now is that I became another officer of this company, and I started going up the ranks, and then every year we had a big organization that would come in and say, for a big giving campaign, and I was handed a card, and they said, here's your card. As an officer, you're supposed to give 2% of your salary, and by the way, you sign here and it comes out of your paycheck. And that to me just sent the wrong message. It was not the way I wanted to be, and I didn't know it at the time. I just kind of looked at it and I said, really? I said, so what if I don't give? They said, your boss will know. Okay. And that sent the message right across the bow, hit me square in the head of what I do not want to be. I didn't like the situation really because it was just so impersonal. That's all it was. It was fill out a card, check the box, it would come on my paycheck, and I had no connection. And that was the key for me, is that I needed it, and I didn't know it. Again, I didn't know it at the time, but that was going to be an important part about how I get involved. And what I do is having a connection and having some sort of involvement and seeing some sort of ability that what I'm doing is making a difference. Came upon the foundation really from a history standpoint. I left Hartford in 1999 and went off and started work with another gentleman up in Northampton, Massachusetts. And in Northampton, Mass, if anybody's been there, it's a different type of community than Hartford is. And I tell you, that opened my eyes just from a general, the way the community run and way people are very engaged and very passionate about what they believe in for a lot of reasons. And I was in the software business at the time, and so I got my eyes opened a little bit there. But I came back into Hartford in 2004. And when I got back into Hartford, I'm a business as a financial advisor. I want to be engaged with my clients. I want to understand what issues that they're dealing with. And that to me was very important. And believe me, that was probably one of the best resources I've ever had, is just watching my clients and what they did. I could ask them questions totally unrelated to what I may be doing them from a financial planning standpoint, but understanding that I'm just curious. How do they get to where they've been, where they've accumulated some wealth, they're giving back to the communities, and what drove them, as you're doing here today, I kind of did with them and learned a little bit. And what I did find, and the consistent theme, was the Hartford Foundation. And which really I said, okay, I need to know a little bit more about this. They're involved in it, so how do I find out about that? And my partner at the time said, there's only one person you should meet, is Lori Rabb. So I said, okay, let's set it up. And I met Lori, we had lunch, And I told Lori, I said, I want to get re-engaged into Hartford, but I want something that's tangible. I need hands-on. And she said, you should come to a Catalyst meeting. And I went. And so I walked in there with really no expectation of what this was going to be and how it was going to, operate, and didn't have the history. She told me the standard lines about what it was about. Walked in, and I've been to a lot of different functions after work and places, and it was different. Just even walking in there, just looking around, noticed that people weren't just kind of standing around having a drink or whatever. They were talking, they were communicating, they were talking about an issue. And it was fairly consistent message going around, and I said, something's going on here, and I'm just not quite sure what it is. And it just started to flip my mind a little bit. Then I listened to the topic, and it was about truancy. And they brought some people up, and they got some kids there, and then I could see people, and the questions that came out, they weren't just, why did you do this? They were pointed questions. They really got into the subject, and they really believed in what they were talking about and wanted to know more. And I said, this is a different group. Something's going on here, and I really didn't know what was all about. I told my wife about it, and I told Kathy, and I said, this is an interesting group. You may want to kind of come with me in the next meeting to kind of see what this is about. And so I went to this next meeting. Kathy joined me, and again, it was even more. The topic got a little more granular, and it got into what we could do around Hartford, and it really started talking about Hartford and the community, and where this money was going, and how we were going to make an impact and find something catalytic and change. And I'm like, this is fun. This is starting to get a little bit fun. Then I went to the third meeting, but by that time I was a member. It was done. And that was the voting meeting, and then I really saw the action. And this particular topic had a little bit of a lightning rod to it, and there was some good debate. And when I say good, there were some people going back and forth and really debating the topic and really getting down to it. And the vote was, I wouldn't say contentious, but it was active, and it was animated. And I looked at that and I said, that is something that I like, and this is exactly what I want to do. And I've said this in the past, and people have heard this from me, but it's not just about giving. At this point, it was about giving with a purpose. I know where it's going, I know what they were going to do, and then when we voted and we designated those funds to this particular group, I felt satisfied that I am helping something that I know where it is and why I did it. And the best part about it, at that time I was young, I had family, I had young kids, and so every bit of dollars that we want to have and put into it was important to me. But I knew that my $500 was just as important as the next guy's, as the next guy's, as the next guy's. Our votes were all equal. And that was another very important thing to me, that we were all equal in this, and we were all sharing in this debate. And we were literally, a giving circle, working together to try to hopefully be catalytic to something. When you go to a Catalyst meeting, it is not a struggle. People go there because they want to be there. They want to be part of the issue. They want to engage in the issue, and they're thriving to learn. And whether they're 70 or whether they're 30, it doesn't matter. They're there because they want to be there, and that's an important thing. No one's forcing them. No one's having them fill out the card because their boss is going to find out. They're doing it because they want to be there. And that, to me, just to be quite honest, some people call me enthusiastic or energetic. I get it from my members. And I get it because I know what they want, and I'm going to bring it to them as best I can. What my members say is pretty much that I'm passionate about what I believe in, that they love having the topic brought out. They love the fact that we bring such diverse topics, and we present it in different ways. We show unique ways to how it works, and that we have a very good structure. That the three meetings that we do have, we bring a very, could be a very complex topic, and that where we're trying to bring out the issue and trying to get it down to a point, but we bring it down to how we can help in Hartford, in this community, and that's the biggest challenge. And I said it at our last meeting, where if I walk away from that first meeting where we talk about the broad topic, I know we have achieved our goal for that night when I've written on my notes, solve the world. Basically, I feel that we need to solve the world, and how do we do it? And again, I'm a planner, so it's very frustrating. And if I walk away frustrated, I know I've achieved that, because I know there's so much out there that I want to do. Now it's just taking that and getting it down to the point of an option for Hartford. What can we do here? What can we do in Hartford? How can we affect change? What organization is going to help, that we could help bring out this one topic and bring it to the next level and be catalytic with them? How we can have impact with Catalyst is, and what result I think I would like to have. My wife is very involved in cat rescue. And she's a hospice nurse. She is on that side of the world, but she also is passionate about rescuing animals, in particular cats. And she's been doing this for a long time. And it's one of those things that she sees a helpless soul and wants to help them. And we always say, there's kind of a saying in our house. If I come home from work and I go, "Where's Mom?" and "Where's Kathy?" and my girls will say, "Well, she's out saving the world, one kitty at a time." And that's the result that I want from Catalyst. And that's where I have to put myself and manage my expectations and put things in perspective. If we can save that one kitty at a time, or if we can help that one person or that one entity, and whatever it may be, if we get that one result and that one person, then we've achieved our goal. I think the issues around Hartford, again, there's a big topic. You've got a lot out there. I think the biggest things that what I'd like to see, at least, is trying to continue to work and focus on the children. If we start young, if we start empowering them now, enabling them now, and telling them that they can do what they want to do, regardless of the circumstances that are around them, or put them in an environment that lets them thrive in some way or some fashion, they'll become less dependent upon us in society, more dependent upon their abilities. And I think we take it for granted that we always constantly have to help. And it's not it's not really just giving to them. We've got to empower them. So there's two things that I know that I think are very, very important to me, is that number one, you can volunteer directly with your checkbook, but you can also volunteer with your time. Where I am in my life right now, I've got two teenage girls, both in high school, college coming right down the pipe, a business that I am running, obviously working with the Catalyst, working with the Bushnell. Time is probably my biggest commodity that I can give. And so when I do select something, I'm not going to try to dilute myself. I'm going to be basically all in. And so that's why I really, really focus my two major efforts on the Bushnell and on Catalyst in the Hartford Foundation. Because I want to be able to contribute as much as I can, dedicate that, and not just skim it. And that's just the way I want to do that. However, and that's really in here in Hartford. Back in my home, it's really, I've driven a lot of different directions. I do help my wife with her with Kitty Angels. To the extent that I can help her, I don't go out to the shelter. I'm unfortunately a little too allergic for 100 cats. But I do what I can do, from helping them fundraise, helping them do their website, getting the communication out for them. But most importantly, with my daughters. When they were growing up, they went to a Catholic school, and I'm a good Protestant. So having them go to a Catholic school, I learned very quickly that the Catholics are very good about asking for time and money, and of course. And we did a lot of support of that community, and the whole community itself, not just the church, but mostly the school. I volunteered with my time extensively, and not just going in and doing one little thing in the class. I basically said, what do you need me to do? How can I help? What's my expertise? And I managed a lot of different things for them and helped them through some business decisions. I helped them with their website. But it's more important for the girls to see that time is as important as is money. That it's easy to write the check, but if you can give time, people do respect that as well. So I try to find whatever way we can, through their school now as well. Probably the biggest thing that we do together, and it's probably the most consistent amongst anything we do, is really about my two children and how they came to us. They're both adopted from China. And that to me was, again, it's another organization that needs a lot of support, the organization that we worked with at the time. And we've learned through that day, that we call it the Gotcha Day, is a very, very special day. And we continue to reflect upon that day We get together as a family. My mother has always been involved in that, and we talk about how they came to us, what it took, what does it mean, and it starts trying to engage them from different ways. Not sure exactly which way they want to go with it. Maybe they want to go back to China. Can they help the orphanages where they came from? Can they help the organization that helped us bring them there? Can they try to educate other people that it's a way to have a family and to create this bond of a family without necessarily having a family, and that we're all special together. I'm finding more and more that where my power is giving time. I try to get people excited about things. I try to get people engaged about things, and I have them try to bring out why they're doing this and have them start thinking about this option of why they're here and what else can they do, and to think just beyond. And if we can spur them beyond the one item that I may be talking about to something else and get them engaged. And for people that want to get involved in this or just start thinking about this, they got to start just reaching out. They got to start trying different ways. Whether it be volunteering in a soup kitchen or at a church or a cat rescue or the Hartford Foundation, whatever it may be, it does not matter. It's just they have to get up and start moving.